everyone, it's Maddie.
And me, and today is day one of our readathon reading double.
We've just started our very first Twitter reading sprint, and that's all happening on @readingdouble, so we'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to take part tomorrow.
So our reading plans have changed a little bit. Instead, I am going to read the 2 Sarah Bernard books that are currently published, Beautiful Broken Things and A Quiet Kind of Thunder.
And I'm going to be reading the 2 Leela Sales books that we own, This Song Will Save Your Life and Tonight the Streets Are Ours.
Both of those pairs are around 600 pages, so we're going to see how much of that we can get done today.
This pair is both really special to us because the Sarah Bernard books are some of my favourites and the Leela Sales are some of Bee's favourites, so this is kind of like reading each other's favourite books all in one go.
We also got some packages in the post, and since this is a vlog, we thought we'd open them up now. We've ordered some books for university as well, so it could be that.
It's disappointing if it is. It's not! It's And Then We Ran by Katie Cannon. We bought it because one of our reviews is on the inside cover, and Katie Cannon is one of my favourite authors. This is one of the books that we had to buy for prep for Yalk because we have her other 2 books signed already, and this is the only one we don't have. I'm gonna guess a mini book this time.
No, it's not. This is Mafiosa by Catherine Doyle. We recently hauled the second book, which is Inferno. So we have now completed the trilogy, and Maddie's going to be moving on to reading these, I assume, very quickly.
And now that we have the whole trilogy, I'm probably going to binge it and read all 3 in one go, because I've had Vendetta on TBRs for the last, 6 months and haven't got round to it. I will open all the easy packages. This one,
Okay.
the 3rd.
Probably a uni book now. What we got?
Looks like it. This is The Wonder by Emma Donoghue, one of the books on our last year's novels module. This is actually the one we've already read as well, so yay!
And this one is a small one. This is The Woman Next Door by Yewande Omotozo. Luckily for this module, they seem to have picked books that are 350 pages or under, which is amazing because our Guilty Pleasures module has 5 books that are over 1,000 pages, so I can't wait to get around to reading all of these.
So now we'll actually get on to doing some reading. We'll update you as we go. So Bea, what are you reading now?
I'm finishing The Yellow Room by Jess Vallance because I had 120 pages to go and I kind of wanted to get that done before I moved on to something else. So I'm reading this and then I'll move on to Beautiful Broken Things.
So I still have 60 pages left of If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, which I'm also going to finish up. I'm really excited though because we're at a really happy moment when they're all getting ready for homecoming. It's now just past 11 and I'm finished with If I Was Your Girl. So it turns out that if it's been a lovely book up until the last 50 pages, some crap is going to go down in those 50 pages, and it definitely did. Things went very quickly downhill for Amanda, but I was really pleased with how she dealt with it and how everyone in the scenario dealt with it differently. I really liked the way that she dealt with a toxic friendship and how people came to her aid, just like I suspected they would in my Try a Chapter video. And although the ending wasn't entirely happy, I am very pleased with where Amanda is in her life right now and how many people support her, and how this book just encourages you to be genuinely yourself. I'm going to give it 5 stars because I had a wonderful reading experience with this one, and it gives me a lot of faith in the world reading books like this where people can be accepted for whoever they want to be.
So I just finished The Yellow Room by Jess Vallance, and this was a really quick read. I'd already read around 130 pages before I started it today, and I finished it in half an hour because the font was really huge and it was kind of coming to its climax. However, I didn't think the climax came early enough, and I definitely wasn't on the edge of my seat as much as I was with Birdie. It's really mellow and honestly not that intriguing at the beginning, and I'd say that the ending or the build up to the ending is nothing that you're not expecting anyway. Maybe it's because I've read a lot in this genre already, or maybe because it fell into some cliches. But I still enjoyed it. I'd only give it 2 stars, and I'm not sure if I'd actually recommend it, but if you're into this kind of thriller suspense genre, I would definitely recommend picking up Birdie, which was Jess Vallance's debut. I will now be moving on to Beautiful Broken Things by Sarah Bernard, and the longer I hold it, the more excited I get to read it, but I'm going to convince Maddie to watch some Katya and Trixie Mattel videos with me before I do, because we found their little web show that they have on World of Wonder yesterday, and it's my life, and there are 50 episodes. If you're into drag culture at all and you haven't watched these, then I would definitely recommend it, but don't know how many of you guys actually watch RuPaul's Drag Race. Feel free to let us know in the comments who your favourite queen is, because I would love to know. I think I'm a little bit more excited for this one, and it kind of matches the top that I've got going, but I am also incredibly excited to get round to some other things. I've had Fearsome Dreamer on the go for a long time. How far through am I? I'm actually 134 pages through this. Good gosh. that is a lot further than I thought. So maybe for my second round, once I finish this pair, if I do today, then tomorrow I will move on to finishing this and reading The Illusionists, because that's technically another pair. Those are our reading plans. We're still doing some sprints. What time is it? It's now 11:10 and sprints go on until 12. So I think we are mostly doing that on TweetDeck so we can actually schedule them and do some reading ourselves. But if you haven't joined in on those, then definitely do that tomorrow.
Of the two Leela Sales books I have, I'm going to start with This Song Will Save Your Life because this came out in 2013 and Tonight in the Streets Where Owls came out in 2015, and I think it would be best to read these in publication order because I think her writing is only going to get better if B's ratings are anything to go by. This is the story of Elise who is starting at new school and really struggles to find her place until she finds an underground dance party and from the cover probably becomes the DJ. I'm really pumped to see music as a strong influence in this because although I don't really listen to it that much myself, B and I are currently writing a story with musicians as the main characters, so hopefully I'll feel inspired after reading this. So our reading sprints are over for the morning and I thought it was really successful, although I did procrastinate quite a bit catching up with Drag Race because the winner was announced today and obviously I was going to just dedicate some time to being a fangirl about that, but I managed to read 80 pages of If I Was Your Girl and I'm currently 40 pages through This Song Will Save Your Life and I'm not really enjoying it. From the very first chapter I was like, ooh, I'm not feeling this voice. And then in the second chapter, there's some contemplation of revenge suicide, and that feels quite serious to put only like 20 pages into a book. And I just don't know, this is coming off as a very unlikable character. I'm still going to give her a chance though, because now in the 40 pages, she's just found the underground music, and I'm excited to see what that passion is going to do to her character and how it's going to change how she thinks about things. Let's go and see how B is doing.
We've been eating biscuits.
I want biscuits.
I'm 50 pages through.
50 pages. What are you thinking of it so far?
It's different to what I thought because I was kind of under the impression that it was like about a positive female friendship where they were all like close.
Yeah.
But it's more about how you've got these two best friends and then a new girl moves in and like weasels her way. But I don't want to be too mean about her because I, who have made lots of poor friendship decisions in my past, can like see where Caddy is making mistakes in her judgments of the new girl. So I'm kind of like, oh, no, don't do that. And I'm like, but I'm about that for all three of them. I'm just like, I can see. And maybe that's just because, like, I'm 20, they're 16, they don't know. So I feel, like, awkward reading it because the decisions they're making in the story are not decisions I would be making.
Yeah.
Or things I would be saying. But I think when you're 16, your friends are, like, the closest people you have. And
yeah.
Like, jealousy is rife.
So we just filmed our diverse recommendations video, which we talked about on Twitter and everyone was very excited about it. So that went well, and now we have to go back to reading. I'm sad that there's not going to be an LGBT character in my book now. Yeah.
It's now nearly 4 o'clock, which means our second round of sprints is over and I've only got 100 pages left of this book. I'm definitely more into it than I was in the first 40 pages, but there's still something about the character that I'm not really liking. Her whole premise at the beginning of the story is wanting to try and be popular and cool, and as soon as that's anyone's main motivation, I'm just checking out the story. Then she started learning to DJ and she's falling in love with the DJ at the club that she's taken over from, and I'm not really sure I like that relationship because there's quite an age gap between them and the power dynamic is questionable.
It's 10 to 5 now and I feel like I haven't read as much as I wanted to today. This whole week I feel like I've been really scatterbrained and we got back into watching The Vampire Diaries and also watching Love Island like every evening. So my mind has just been about binge watching TV. So now to change gears and try and read a lot has been harder than I thought, even though I was originally excited to do this. And then doing Twitter sprints, as fun as it is, also kind of takes you away from doing reading because you're just like, you have to check on it. I haven't read as much as I was hoping to. I thought for some reason I'd be able to get like 3 pairs done and read 6 books in 2 days, but that would probably be something that B during the booktubeathon could do because B in the booktubeathon is a machine, but right now I'm just like a slug. So I'm like 200 pages through Beautiful Broken Things, which means I have 120 pages left. I am enjoying it, but I don't know where it's going to go because it's kind of one of these very character-driven stories. There's not a big plot and nothing's really happening to Caddy, and Caddy's the main character, she's the focalizer, and a lot of things are happening to Suzanne, who is the new friend that's just arrived. It's almost like you could do with having like a 3-person POV with Rosie and Suzanne getting their own sections as well. I have to say I'm a little bit more excited for A Quiet Kind of Thunder, but I am very pleased that this is just a book about friendship. That's the plot, just friendship troubles. And it reminds me so much of being
at secondary school and being 16 and being 14, because I've been each of these girls at a different point in my life. So as usual, I'm just sad that I've left it this long to read it. And I'm kind of bewildered as well that I am reading it now, because when did this come out? I think it was like 2015. It actually only came out in 2016, which seems weird, but I think Maddie got an arc at the end of 2015 or sometime a lot earlier. So it's been on my TBR for a while, and obviously because Maddie had it hyped, I don't know, I just put it off for a really long time. So that's what I'm doing, and I've had to severely adjust my expectations for this whole weekend. But Sunday is a new day, and we'll see what happens then.
So I'm now finished with This Song Will Save Your Life by Leela Sales, and I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I was going to go with 3, but then I thought, no, I actually disliked this book more than I liked it. As I said to begin with, Elise, the main character, is a little bit unlikable, and she's consistently unlikable throughout the book, and it feels like even though she is sneaking out and lying to her parents and being distant from her friends, there's no repercussions for her actions, and even if they are, they're quite tame, and I just thought that it should have been a bit more serious than it was. In order to go to the DJ venue, she had to stay at her mum's house rather than her dad's, and she was lying about the reasoning for that, making her dad feel like she didn't want to be around him, which just felt odd, and I feel like I'd feel guilty about that situation more than she did. The one thing I'm pleased about though is how the romance panned out in this one. I felt like it was super realistic for the circumstances in which they met and how much they knew each other, and for such a short book it took me a really long time to get through, which I wasn't really expecting, but I guess there was just so many barriers in my way to actually enjoying this book. I knew going into this as well that it wasn't Bee's favourite book, and she enjoyed Tonight the Streets Were Ours way more than this one, so I'm really looking forward to picking that one up, and it definitely feels like more of my thing. But I'm still pleased to have read this, even if it's only to manage my expectations for the next book. Here's our secret to managing the Twitter reading sprints. We have TweetDeck open, which lets you schedule things, and I've already got all the tweets scheduled for the 8 PM sprint, just because I think that our parents are going to want to watch the new episode of iZombie, and we've got some Brooklyn Nine-Nine queued up as well. So we might take a little break from reading, but we'll definitely still try and get some done in the evening. It might not be when the sprint coincides with.
So it's pretty late now, but I thought I'd update you to say that I've finished Beautiful Broken Things. I am so surprised that Maddie didn't let slip any of the twists in this story, because honestly all I knew was that it was a book about friendship. And honestly, as I was reading, I was like, where is this going? But it definitely takes a more exciting turn. I guess I should have been clued into this from the first page, which just says before, and that normally highlights that something tricky is going to happen at the end, because then there's an after section. I really liked it. I thought it was just a really great character exploration between these 3 friends. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get more of Rosie. It is mostly about the new girl Suzanne and our main character Caddy, and I feel like Rosie's point of view was kind of missing from it, and it meant that I didn't really connect with her, or I wasn't siding with her when arguments were arising. I did, however, really appreciate how this handled Suzanne's feeling, and how adults can not believe their children and put them in bad positions where they want to be loyal to their friends but they need to be loyal to their parents, otherwise they'll get in trouble. I thought the juggling of loyalties that Caddy had to experience was really important. I'm giving this book 3 stars because although I enjoyed what it was doing, I don't think it was really a fun read, but that doesn't mean I don't think it was a good story. It had some really important messages about how some people will tell you the people that you want to be friends with are not good for you, but you are the only person that can make the correct judgment on that, and you have to give people a chance no matter what their reputation, and this book just tells you that and explains why it's important. So if you've ever had friendship troubles in your life, then I would 110% recommend reading this. So that is the end of day 1 of Reading Double. It's past 9 and we're going to try and do some reading before we go to sleep, so any reading that we do will update you in tomorrow's vlog. So our giveaway is still open. You have Sunday to enter, and we'll be announcing the winner on Monday, so we'll leave a link to that in the description and the cards if you haven't entered yet. If you're involved in Reading Double at all you need to do is link your TBR on any platform, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or your blog in the comments of that video, which will be linked in the cards, and you could win £10 from the book depository. We're really excited to get to our second books. We hope you've had a successful reading day as well, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye!